Welcome back to Paranormal Perspective. I'm John Lorden, and joining me as always is...
Christy Arnhart.
This is the show where we look into a paranormal topic together. Well, Christy actually does all the work, but then she tells me about it essentially, and I try to apply my critical thinking, sometimes pushing towards skeptical thinking. Christy tries to pull me back from the brink of skepticism. Sometimes it's effective, other times, I don't know. We do this in front of the secret studio audience live, and we have them vote to decide who actually wins for that episode. Christy, what are we talking about today?
Well, due to a recent uptick in Sasquatch sightings around the U.S., I am declaring today Squatch Watch 2024.
You heard it here first, folks. This is Squatch Watch. Squatch Watch?
Squatch Watch 2024.
That could be a legit, like, you got to pass that along. You know how they have Shark Week and all that kind of stuff?
Why don't they have Squatch Week?
Yeah, whatever channel's running those nonsense Sasquatch hunting shows, they need Squatch Watch. Squatch Watch 2024. Wolfenstein agrees. Okay.
Seriously.
Okay, so we've got a lot of Sasquatch sightings. I know Christy has been sending me articles about some of these sightings, and I have been laughing wholeheartedly at most of them. What?
I have been trying to help him, guys, and he's holding me at arm's length.
Help me see the ways, Christy. What is the question we're going to be putting to the audience?
Well, I had a hard time with this one.
Okay.
How about, do you believe Sasquatch is out there?
We'll make it. Do you believe in Sasquatch?
See, that's what I started to answer, but I was like, or ask, but I was like, I don't know.
Well, I have a character limit, but same difference. Do you believe in Sasquatch, or do you believe Sasquatch is out there? That's fine.
Yeah,
Unless,
that's true.
Well, and honestly, it doesn't even, like, we could say that there is Sasquatch, but he's on another planet, like he's on the home world of Wookiees, because I'm pretty sure Chewbacca would be a Sasquatch. He'd be considered a Sasquatch if he was here.
He would be considered a Sasquatch.
Oh, I know that. I know it for a fact. And I'm going to bring up this story again. Christy, you haven't heard this in at least 6 months. One of my earliest acting gigs was playing a Sasquatch. And the production used a Chewbacca costume. I was literally wearing a Chewbacca costume to be Sasquatch. So,
yeah, that does ring a bell.
Old Milwaukee beer.
It does.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. All right. Do you believe in Sasquatch? Yes or no? I'll drop that on the audience kind of in the middle of the presentation. But Christy, go ahead and get us started. What are we talking about here?
Okay. Well, we're talking about Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we all know what Bigfoot's supposed to look like. You know, he's 7 to 10 foot tall. He's covered in hair. He smells really bad. People nowadays are starting to say, oh, his eyes glow. But I really kind of feel like the eye glowing is probably from lights. I don't understand, unless he's a strictly supernatural creature. I don't understand why his eyes would glow. But anyway, I have several articles here that are going to help me illustrate how dangerous the fever is and how we need to be watching closely. Okay.
So you're saying that you're on Squatch Watch. That's what you're saying.
I'm on Squatch Watch.
Okay.
I mean, I was only halfway doing it, sending you articles, but then they just started to pile up, and I was like, this needs to be addressed.
Yeah. Now Google knows that you're looking at that nonsense, and it's going to keep sending those articles your way.
I think they're just top of the newsfeed. I don't think it's just me.
Okay. All right.
So the first article is from the Denver Post, and it is from October 12th of 2023.
Okay.
Now, around the time that this article was written, a Wyoming couple named Shannon Parker and Stetson Tyler, what a name, Stetson.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking a train ride through Colorado for the weekend. They're riding the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad in Southwest Colorado. And that sounds like a neat weekend trip to me.
Mm-hmm.
She says, we were looking for elk in the mountains, and my husband sees something moving and then really can't explain it. So he's like, Bigfoot. It was at least 6 feet or taller, and it matched the sage in the mountains so much that it's like he was camouflaged when he crouched down. We have the video.
Okay. This isn't going to be some like grainy. Wait, this is
Mm.
modern though, right? This happened recently?
This just happened last year.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Is this the Facebook link that you sent?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm just kind of seeing if I can get a hint from your face about. Is this a gag? Am I going to turn this on? As some like?
No,
Okay. Okay.
I'm serious.
All right. Let's see here.
It's an elusive creature. Alright, just squat it down.
Where at?
Yeah, let me see your camera, I'll do it.
I guess stand up.
It's an elusive creature.
What? Who is this guy on Valium that's recording this?
No, actually, there were two people. Shannon herself took still pictures, and then a man who was on the other side of Stetson took this video.
But this guy's like, what an elusive creature. Look, he's
No, that's
sitting down.
Stetson.
Oh, that's Stetson.
That's Stetson.
Stetson
Yes.
a little slow.
No,
I'm just asking.
he's
Like, he seems.
amazed. He's looking at Bigfoot.
I don't.
in
But that's what
Colorado.
I'm calling out. He doesn't seem amazed. Here, let's listen to him again. Stetson, break it down for us.
It's an elusive creature.
Did you
Alright,
not
just
hear the
squat
all?
it down.
Where at?
Yeah, let me see your camera, I'll do it.
Yeah, he squatted down.
I guess stand up.
Oh, and there's other people. Are you seeing that? Are you seeing that? All right. Do we know the details of what this ride is that they're on?
Nothing other than what I just told you. They were
Can you
just taking
re-
a weekend trip through
a
South
w-
Colorado.
and they're just on a standard train. They're not on some kind of tourist attraction.
No, I think it's a standard train.
Because this seems to me like something that you would do, like, sometimes they'll have murder mystery dinner tours, or sometimes you'll be able to jump on a train that is like a historical tour and it'll take you through a particular place. I'm getting the feeling, and I don't know that this is accurate, and it's on Facebook with over almost 2,000 likes. It's been viewed almost a million times. I would get the sense that there's enough people looking at this that there would be a comment here. Where are the comments? Oh, wait. Chip Hicks says, what a joke. You sound like you see one every day. Come on, man.
People are so cynical. That is clear footage of Bigfoot.
Well, it's clear footage. It is obviously a humanoid.
Mhm.
Quite honestly, it could be a Chewbacca costume, just being honest.
Well,
Alright,
it
just
could be.
It could be. Or
But
a Jack
it's
Link's
Bigfoot.
costume.
Squat it down.
Where at?
Yeah,
let me
it's
see your
clearly...
camera,
But what a terrible place for Bigfoot to be. Like, why is he out in the middle on the side of a hill where there's only these little tiny shrubs? Like, he's supposed to be so intelligent that he can avoid cameras and any type of technology, and he's just like sitting out on the hillside.
Yeah. He was probably looking for elk too.
I love your expression on this. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, can he not just pop a squat?
Oh, maybe that's what he's doing. Yeah, it could be. It could be. I have the feeling that this is something that's done. Like, take your kids on a Bigfoot hunting train ride. And it's a little 1-hour train ride. They go from one place to the other. They give them some hot dogs while they're on the way. And then there's a guy in a costume running around on the hill. That's the feeling I have. Now, admittedly, I will knock that theory down by saying, again, viewed 887,000 times, and no one's coming to the comments and saying, oh, wait, that's the thing in Arizona that you can do. Like, that is kind of knocking my theory pretty much out of the water from my perspective. I think if anyone would have recognized this out of almost 1 million people, they would have added that comment here, and they're not. So, to your credit. Unfortunately, first of all, kudos on it is modern footage. It's not all super grainy. It hasn't been zoomed in until it's just a collection of pixels and you can't really tell what it is. It's very clear that, yes, this is a humanoid object out there. It could be a human wearing a costume. It could be a Bigfoot. And that's that's where I kind of have to leave it. I think it's just, it's possible. It's possible.
Mm-hmm. It is possible.
Is it the
That
definitive
was
proof?
just,
Not exactly.
well, no, not until somebody walks up to Bigfoot and
Yeah, gets their arm
actually,
tore
yeah.
off and survives, and then yeah. Well, and even
then
then,
the
we won't
government
believe the
has to cut
story.
it up
Yeah.
because
All
that's
right.
going to happen.
All right.
So yeah,
That's a good one.
this is only the first article. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now, I believe that you have a picture of Larry Sanders
Okay.
that you can pull up.
Sure.
Now, this article is from The Independent.
Okay.
It was posted on 6/21/24.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Larry Sanders of Pontotoc County, Oklahoma. What is that?
It's the picture. You said picture of Larry Sanders. It's not.
It's not the Larry Sanders. But that's good. I didn't even think about that. This
Okay.
is the Larry Sanders I'm
Okay.
talking about.
Gotcha.
So he was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison for the 2022 killing of his friend Jimmy Knighton.
Okay.
When he was asked why he killed this man who was his friend, he reportedly said that he was afraid that Knighton had summoned a Bigfoot to kill him and eat him.
I'm familiar
And
with
he
this story.
believed-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He believed that his friend had the power to summon the creature. So on the day of the murder, the two friends had decided to go catfish noodling. We know what catfish noodling is, right?
No, please explain it for those of us that live in Minnesota.
Okay. Catfish can get huge. I mean,
Mhm.
really big. So you go down into these creeks and they will like make these little mud holes down there that they hide down in. You can dive down under the water, stick your arm down in one of those holes, and that huge catfish will swallow a good portion of your arm, and you just rip it out and you're like, "Ah,
Who would
I
do
have
that?
catfish."
You can't just use a fishing line?
Mm-mm. No, they're back in those holes. You've got to stick your arm in there.
Whoa.
They have championships. You should look at some footage. It's interesting.
Yeah, apparently there used to be a show called Hillbilly Hand Fishing. Thank you, Kira,
Yep.
for telling us about that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that
And
before
I'm
in my life.
They're huge, huge. I don't want to do it myself, but I would.
Can't you get
probably
stung
eat
by
that fish.
catfish? Don't they have...
Well, they have whiskers
Yeah.
that are really sharp, and they can get you with those whiskers.
Yeah.
But it's swallowed your arm at that point. So you just pull it up out of the mud hole and flop it up on the bank, and it gets pulled off your arm. And
So that's
there's
what they
one
were doing?
catfish. Yes, they were
Okay.
noodling. Now, Sanders said that Knighton was pressuring him to submerge himself and catch a fish. But, he wasn't going to be fooled because he saw when they came down, he saw Bigfoot standing at the other end of the creek.
Hmm.
So he was not falling for Knighton's tricks because he knew as soon as he went under that water, Knighton was going to drown him and feed him to that Bigfoot. So naturally, a fight ensued. And unfortunately, Sanders strangled Knighton in the process, and the Bigfoot got away.
I wonder if there was any alcohol or methamphetamines involved in this situation.
Not that I
hint.
found.
Yeah.
Although you would think so.
Yeah.
But this just helps to illustrate the belief that people have in this. There are hunters in other areas shooting each other because they think some dude out there in a ghillie suit is Bigfoot. I mean, it's getting out of control.
Yeah.
Out of control. It really has. So, story number 3, because they're
Okay.
only getting bigger. Okay. This one was posted July 6th, 2024 by the New York Post. So you've got a group of teenagers who just recently graduated from Huma High School in southern Louisiana. In June, a group of them decided that they wanted to go camping in the Kisatchie National Forest, which is about 100 miles northwest of Baton Rouge. After they set up camp, and their camp is about 1.5 miles off of Backbone Trail in southern Natchitoches. Parish.
Okay.
They claim that they saw a Bigfoot. At 9:20 p.m. on the 28th, one member of the group called 911 after they reportedly heard a growl and saw what appeared to be an animal that had glowing eyes and stood about 5 foot tall. So naturally, this would be an adolescent Squatch because they're
Okay.
much taller than 5
The
foot
9
tall.
feet?
Well, they go anywhere from like 7 to 10 feet.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do I
The
have
officers came.
Do I have a slide I'm supposed to have up for this?
No, just a picture of
Okay.
Squatch for this one.
All right, sure.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Officers made it to the campsite. It was easy to find. The kids were whistling for them. They found them. They searched the area. They found no signs of Bigfoot. So again, he got away. But this is something that we're used to. They move very fast. Okay. Now I have 2 more, and they're the best.
Okay.
So Newsweek on July 28th of this year tells us that earlier this year, Duffy Springfield went hiking with her boyfriend in Panther, West Virginia. Now, Panther is a really small town. It's only got about 600 people that live there, but it's also home to the Panther State Forest. So you've got all this hiking area, fishing, hunting, all kinds of stuff. So Duffy says, I like to do photography, and my boyfriend and I were making a scrapbook of all the developed photos I took. Some of them were at Panther earlier this year. I just kind of saw it, and I'm not sure how I even noticed it since it's such a small detail. We have a picture of this picture to show you.
Okay. Is it... Yeah, it must be this one.
Nope.
Dang it. This one?
Here we go.
Okay.
Now, if you enlarge that,
Oh. Okay.
in the very... Okay, now, look at the middle of the screen and go down, and to the right of that little pillar,
Mm-hmm.
you can see something. If you go to the next picture, she enlarged it, and you can see what it is.
Why do they always have to zoom in?
Squatch hand.
Christy,
It's a Squatch hand.
there's no hair on it. That's someone's hand. There's a little kid back
Well,
there.
That is not... I mean, his fingers, I wouldn't think like the tips of his fingers would be covered in
Wait, if he
hair.
was 10 feet tall...
Well, see, she said there shouldn't be anything on the side of that. It's just like a drop down into the valley. So
It does
how was
look like
there-
that. It does look like that.
Yeah.
It could be
So-
how someone is hanging on for their life while some rude friend of theirs just snaps a picture.
Or it could be Sasquatch hiding. Yeah.
Yeah, there is definitely not enough information in this picture to make a determination. One thing I don't like about it is the shadow.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is not showing us if there is a person back there, they can't be very big, and they're right up against it because the shadow is not showing some giant mass that is like... I mean, there is some mass back there. I'm assuming that this
Mhm.
thing's flat on the backside like it is on the 2 sides that we can see.
It is.
So there is some mass crouching down there. To me, it looks like a kid. If I was,
Okay.
if someone was holding a gun to my head and said I had to, place my one bet of every dollar that I have on one or the other, is it Bigfoot or is it a kid? I'm going on kid, and I'm winning, is what I'm thinking.
See, in my world, it's totally a Bigfoot. Barely hanging on there.
Do they have tiny hands? Big feet, tiny hands? Is that the rest of the name and we
We
just don't know it?
We don't know how big this pillar is. And it could be an adolescent. They see, children Squatch.
That's a good point. And what is this pillar?
I don't
Like,
know.
what is this?
I don't know. And she didn't elaborate on it. Behind the pillar should be nothing. A drop off to the woods below. She said she took the pic at the top of the mountain. Could it be a marker?
That kind of makes sense and I guess it could be some kind of marker, but it looks like it's meant to retain something, like it's to stop something from going over to the edge, or it was
Like
being
Squatch.
built. It was being built to do so, and it just wasn't completed because, why is there a piece of rebar that's sticking out the top? Or maybe it is some type of monument. Maybe it was made for someone that passed away there or something along those.
Maybe they put a flag up there or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
That's not enough. That's not enough.
Well, let's just see if the next one will be enough.
Okay.
This again is from the New York Post, August 2nd of this year. Imagine you're in the high north of Quebec, near the Arctic Circle in Canada, and you're exploring with a skeleton crew of filmmakers in 2001 for a film called Great North. You film a massive running herd of caribou. It's beautiful. The shot's perfect. You finish the movie and you leave, right?
Yeah.
Then later, you're in post filming and you start to notice something. At this point, the film crew knows all of the animals in the area and they cannot identify what they're seeing. I have a video of this as well. That's it.
Let's see.
Now,
here.
just up above, was it the caribou? Yeah, just up above the caribou, where all of that green land is, kind of to the right, keep watching it and you'll see what looks like a black figure.
Oh.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Yep.
And that's just the rest of the shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Did I miss it? There it is.
There he is. Yeah, and they're like, if a bear, if it was chasing something, it would be on all fours. It wouldn't be up on two.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a bear necessarily.
They said it didn't look like any animal that they had seen in the area. They've looked at the tape. It's not been tampered with. That wasn't put in digitally. There's actually something out there.
Yeah,
and
no,
the filmmakers, they're like, if
agree.
any area could have a Bigfoot, this could be it, because it's in the middle of nowhere. There was no one out there. Nobody goes out there.
It's also just kind of precarious. I mean, look, there's a bunch of animals heading towards where it was, like, just in terms of danger of being caught up in this stampede.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really, it's so unfortunate. And this is the thing with these, there's always stories and reasoning why the person that was actually there filming didn't notice it. They didn't notice it until they were in post. Because if they had noticed it when you were there, they could have kept the camera running. And by the way, the camera probably did keep running. And this is some type of little valley right here. It didn't disappear into some cave here.
No.
So a matter of minutes, at probably more like seconds after this thing reemerges. Where is that footage? Because this footage that we're seeing is only half his body as it's obscured behind a ridge.
Because if he's hunting caribou, he'd let them slide on past and then come up behind them and pick off one of the scragglers. The weaker ones will be at the back.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is why
there's definitely
it
not
is
enough.
Squatch.
There's not enough of the form. I mean, to me, it does resemble like the movement of a primate or something.
Mm-hmm. But no, there are so many sightings everywhere. It's ridiculous.
I'm appreciating that we're at least having things that are filmed properly, things that it's modern. Like, yes, I'm appreciating that. It's unfortunate that this wasn't noticed until later, because if they would have noticed something like this, they should have stopped moving the camera, stuck on that area, and waited all day long.
Yeah, definitely.
But
definitely.
Okay.
And I'd have been the idiot that was just like running up there going, I'm going to look. Because, I mean, you can't leave something like that. I mean, even if you get killed, you got killed by Sasquatch.
Well,
how many people can say that?
What was the story about why this filming was taking place?
They were filming a documentary called Great North.
Okay, well, there's another potential issue there. Because that means there's a film crew out here. So
yeah,
there could have been a film crew member that was over there. That could be the sound guy.
No.
If they want sound of all this stampeding and thumping, I'm sending my sound guy over there. And then I'm firing him when I get back in post-production. And I'm like, James, we saw you running in the middle of that shot.
No. Skeleton crew.
James.
Nobody was over there. It's
No,
a
that's
Sasquatch.
that's James from the sound crew. I can see it. I just saw his name tag. All right, Christy.
No.
Look at James.
Now, a team of researchers at the university. Oh, gosh, gingers. Let me fix my camera.
Cat attack.
Quiet.
It was Bigfoot.
Quiet.
Bigfoot knocked her camera around.
A team of researchers at the University of Arizona speculate
Mm-hmm.
that if Sasquatches are real, they should trace their origins back to an ancient giant ape called Gigantopithecus. So
Okay.
we may very well have a scientific name for Squatch as well.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's just too prevalent. Be careful if you're in a known Sasquatch area. Watch yourself. They throw rocks, they throw tree bits, and they yell at you, and
They
it's
have-
not pleasant.
Red glowing eyes.
Well, that's what they say.
You don't like
That's
that
what
part,
they
huh?
I don't like that part.
Yeah.
I mean, either he's a supernatural creature or he's a missing link.
Hmm.
I can handle both. But I'm really not into the supernatural part of this. I think he's a Bigfoot. I think he's a big hairy dude. Big hairy people.
Well, Christy, what you think is certainly important, but what is more important is what they think. And we have ended the poll, and the usual trend that we have seen of me winning practically every episode did not happen today. But you didn't win either. We have an
It was
exact
50-50?
50-50 split. I think that's only happened once or twice before. Yeah,
It
it's a
has.
50-50. Yeah. But
Mr.
honestly,
Hippie pareidolia. Whatever, Mr.
honestly, that's how I feel about that issue. Like I'm not 100% certain. I'm somewhat unresolved on this. There's a lot of logic that my brain is going, no, you're not, John. You know that this is fake. We brought it up on a previous episode. Chris, I think, phrased it very well about where are the remains. They've been around supposedly for hundreds or thousands of years, or tens of thousands of years. Where are the remains?
Well, and I told you my theory on that. I believe there is a huge Bigfoot mecca. It's a necropolis that they take everybody to.
I like my theory better, that they're cannibals. They're eating each other.
Well, and that would make sense too. I mean, there's
Can we add that
It's
to
not
the
that it's-
lore? Can we just hold on. I'm going to release
Who
this
hasn't?
separate clip because this is what everyone does that's in this whole Bigfoot thing. They cut off the ends of things so that it's just this one little message in the middle that you can assume is the whole thing when it really isn't, because there's this whole episode. So right now I'm just going to release the next 5-second clip on its own. Bigfoot is real, and the reason why we haven't been able to find any remains is because they're cannibalistic. That's part of the reason why they're known to have glowing red eyes. It's because of the nutrients that they get from eating other Bigfoot, and that's why you're never going to find the remains. There we go. So we now have a viral clip. I want 900,000 views on Facebook, and I want Chip to comment on it. Chip? Well,
Yeah.
it's a tie. It's a tie, Christy. No big winner for this episode. But honestly, in my book, I consider that a win for you. Good job on your research today. These are compelling stories. And we're finally getting some decent footage. We just need the photographers to be a little bit better, but at least the equipment is headed in the right direction. So we appreciate that. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on this episode, and tell us what you think in the comments down below. Of course, if you have any ideas, you can email those to paranormalpers, P-E-R-S, @gmail.com. Let Christy know. She doesn't want to use the shared email because I might see that and then start cheating in terms of my research. But, anyway, that's how you can get direct to Christy. And that's it for today's episode. We will catch you on the other side. Take care of everybody.